Here are the top 10 best DPS units in Anime Vanguards Update 1.5. It's your boy LorTomo. Make sure to like, subscribe, and watch the whole video. Coming in at number 10, we have Jogo. Jogo inflicts burn equal to 30% of his damage and increases his damage by 0.4% with each kill obtained, maxing out at 20%. Jogo has an active ability called Iron Coffin, and upon activation, increases his own damage by 50%, and while Iron Coffin is active, his attacks hit all enemies in range. Jogo costs 1.7k yen to place and 81.5k yen to fully max him out. His recommended traits are Blitz, Ethereal, and Deadeye. Coming in at number 9, we have Tenen Uzui. Tenen is a full AoE unit that was released in Update 0.5. Tenen gets a base plus 10% damage and range increase. Tenen also increases his dodge chance by 3% with each attack performed, maxing out at 60%. Tenen also gets a plus 10% damage increase with each consecutive attack on the same enemy up to 30% and reduces his SPA by 2% with each attack performed down to 30%. Tenen costs 1,500 yen to place and 95k yen to max out. His recommended traits are Monarch, Ethereal, Blitz, and Deadeye. Coming in at number 8, we have Julius. Julius is the newest Battle Pass unit we received during Update 1. Julius's attacks freeze enemies and reduces SPA by 1% each time an enemy is frozen up to 10%. Julius also raises his damage by 7% with each attack performed, maxing out at 56%, and range by 7%, maxing out at 35%. Julius costs 1.6k yen to place and 85k yen to max out. He's 3 placement, so his recommended traits are Monarch, Ethereal, and Blitz. Coming in at number 7, we have Vegeta. Vegeta is one of the cheapest mythic units in the game. Vegeta gets minus 20% SPA if the only units in his range are Vegeta. Vegeta also gets 100% damage when hitting one enemy, making him one of the best boss killers in the game. He's often used early game to clear waves and late game to kill bosses. Vegeta costs 1.2k yen to place and 64k yen to max out. His recommended traits are Ethereal, Blitz, and Deadeye. Coming in at number 6, we have Toji. Toji is the best shield breaker in the game, making him instantly meta. Toji gets plus 50% damage when no buffs are active on him, meaning no using Okarun with Toji at all. Toji gets 20% range, removes shields, and ignores damage reduction. He also gets an extra 30% damage on an enemy after removing their shield. Toji has an active ability called Curse Inventory, allowing you to switch between Chain Blitz and Domain Breaker every 15 seconds. Chain Blitz gives him an extra 10% damage, and Domain Breaker gives him an extra 25% range and 25% damage when attacking a boss. Toji costs 1.5k yen to place and 91k yen to max out. His recommended traits are Monarch, Ethereal, and Blitz. Coming in at number 5, we have Sanjin Wo. Sanjin Wo is a high scaling unit that gets 0.1% attack with each enemy killed. Killing enemies adds them to your shadow army, stacking up to 40 shadows. Sanjin Wo gets the ability Arise that allows him to summon 20 of those shadows, and each time a shadow kills an enemy, he gets 2.5% attack up to 25%. When these shadows spawn, they also give Egress a permanent buff. Sanjin Wo costs 1.7k yen to place and 102k yen to max out. His recommended traits are Monarch, Ethereal, and Blitz. Coming in at number 4, we have Diavolo. Diavolo is the newest Vanguard rarity with a 0.005% chance of obtaining him. Diavolo gets 15% damage when a boss is on the track and plus 1% damage every time an enemy is slowed up to 30%. He gets a 100% chance to dodge attacks and performs a counter attack that deals 50% of his damage with a 10-second cooldown. Diavolo has an active ability that makes his counters do 50% more damage, and at the end of his duration, slows all enemies by 50% for 10 seconds. Diavolo costs 5k yen to place and 115k yen to max out, making him the most expensive unit in the game. His recommended traits are Blitz, Ethereal, and Monarch. Coming in at number 3, we have Suka. Suka is a DPS / bleed support unit. His attacks cleave enemies, making them take 20% more damage from bleed, and at upgrade 8, he gains the ability Sinister Sanctum, which is a full AoE that does plus 300% damage, and each kill he gains gives him plus 1% damage up to 30%. At upgrade 9, Sukuna gains the fire element, gaining 40% damage and immunity to stun. Sukuna costs 2k yen to place and 98k yen to max out. His recommended traits are Monarch, Blitz, and Ethereal. Coming in at number 2, we have Egress. Egress is a full AoE multi-hit unit that relies on Sanjin Wo to reach its max potential. Egress gets plus 25% damage when attacking the boss. He also has a base plus 30% damage and minus 10% SPA and immunity to stun. When Sanjin Wo's shadows spawn in his range, he gains an extra 20% damage and 10% range for 100 seconds. Egress costs 2k yen to place and 93k yen to max out. His recommended traits are Monarch, Solar, Deadeye, and Ethereal. Coming in at number 1, we have Gojo. Gojo is the best DPS unit in the game. Gojo is a full AoE unit, and on placement he gets plus 20% damage and minus 10% SPA. Gojo is immune to status effects and raises his attack infinitely by 0.1% with each wave passed. At upgrade 8, Gojo gains the ability Void. He gains 50% damage and all enemies in range are frozen for 10 seconds. Every kill Gojo gets while in Void lowers his SPA by 2% up to 10%. Gojo costs 1.8k yen to place and 90k yen to max out. His recommended traits are Monarch, Ethereal, and Blitz. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below, comment what you think about my top 10, and subscribe. We on the road to 20k subs. It's your boy LorTomo. Peace. Wait.